Hey everybody, I am Artosis, and this is the most requested game I have ever seen people asking for. It is IdrA against IMMVP. It is going to be exciting, I'm sure, because I tell you, everybody and his brother told me, hey, go get this replay from IdrA, cast it, we want to see it. And, well, that is what I'm doing here. So we're going to be watching this game. It is on Shakuras Plateau. It is from the ladder. IdrA did stream this, but, I grabbed the replay from him to go ahead and give a commentary, give MVP's side as well, and not just the rapid movements of our very quick Zerg player IdrA. Of course, check out his stream. It's on Justin TV, and he streams for 2 hours a day, starting at 2 p.m. KST on weekdays. So definitely give that a little check out. A lot of high-level games. Obviously, IdrA, one of the best Zergs in the world, going up against the current world's #1 player, IMMVP, who just won the GSL Finals in the most ownage fashion you could ever see. Check that out on gomtv.net if you haven't seen it. IMMVP, absolutely a phenomenal player. It seems like no one can beat him at the moment. And, of course, is Terran vs. Zerg, one of his very best matchups. A scary player at that matchup indeed. So we will be seeing on a very fun map, Shakuras Plateau, the two really players that are known for macro more than anything else. MVP against IdrA, former StarCraft 1 pro gamers, and now StarCraft 2 pro gamers. Now, we see MVP going to wall in at the ramp. Definitely going to make a second barracks, put some pressure on. IdrA, on the other hand, going to go ahead, make a hatchery as natural before his spawning pool. Get that up. He's going to want to get a spine crawler immediately to help hold off any pressure that MVP has coming from these two barracks. Now, you'll notice IdrA's going to find this base right about now. Yeah, there he goes. He sees it. I don't think that MVP saw exactly that the Overlord was there. But something interesting is that in these positions recently, Terrans have been owning Zergs. You do a very strong push through the center, or, well, it's not the center, it's the bottom. And you just push up into this area and hit the main base. Now, that's really, really hard to stop as a Zerg player. So MVP may go for something like that. He may not. When you do that, normally it is very two-basey. The timing is right in there at 2 base where you just go and it's kind of all in, but it's very, very hard to stop. Now, MVP not really known for all in, so we'll have to see if he wants to go with that style or maybe a more macro-oriented style like we've seen Nada play on this map in Terran vs. Zerg. Now, IdrA looks like he's going to get speed ready, get that pool done. There are some Marines coming out from IMMVP, has those 2 barracks pumping out. Just a solid SCV count right now. If we take a look at the unit counting station, 17 SCVs against 15 drones. Notice the spine crawler already going up. Very smart. Some drones out here as well to block off any Marines. And IdrA certainly is making some Zerglings. There's 2 right there. Has a couple more about to pop out. Notice he's not over-making Zerglings, just making drones now because he does have that spine crawler coming out. So he's going to feel pretty safe. And IdrA goes up and starts hitting the first Marine of MVP. And it looks like MVP's little pressure here is going to end up doing basically nothing. IdrA going to take out these Marines and the SCV rather easily. At the same time, MVP going to go ahead, make his command center, so he's not really far behind. You know, he forced a spine crawl, he forced some Zerglings. But overall, IdrA definitely won out on that little early attack. Not a big deal, though. Something very easy to come back from. SCV trying to stay alive as long as possible. Goodbye, SCV. You're about to die, and goodbye. We have queens on the way. 1 coming out from there. 1 already at the natural. Got to get double queen pretty quickly. I'm sure IdrA will lay a creep tumor up here pretty soon. You got to push that creep. Especially on a map like this, it's so big. You need your creep absolutely everywhere. Now notice he's going to go ahead and send some Zerglings to the sensor towers. Probably put 1 at each and also patrol the front area. 3rd barracks for MVP. In fact, has his Marines behind. That's to stop any scouting Zerglings from getting up here and seeing a command center. But he'll probably walk it back relatively soon. There we go. Some Marines coming out. IdrA has to run away with these Zerglings. And those Marines going to scare IdrA just slightly. Will he make more Zerglings? Or will he just... Yeah, there you go. 4 more Zerglings being made. So, that scares him a little bit. Forces 4 more Zerglings. That's 2 less drones. Good move by MVP. Now, notice he's getting the double tech lab that can get stim, combat shields, get some marauders out. A 4th barracks going up for MVP. So he definitely wants to get a very good timing attack off. He may not actually attack all the way with it, but it'll certainly be something scary that IdrA has taken into consideration. Now, he's getting double gas here. Does get speed. Layer is on the way, laying a creep tumor as he should. Looks like he may lay another creep tumor here as well. Queen looks primed to do so. sending around some Zerglings to scout. Has that watchtower in place. Some good Overlord placement as well. Watching these rocks, very important location. MVP just pumping out. Combat shields and stim on the way. A lot of Marines being pumped out. I'm sure he'll make some Marauders relatively soon as well. MVP loves to add in a few Marauders early. He's not like Marine King. And there you go. There they are. They obviously tank a lot of damage from Zerglings, have a lot of hit points and an additional armor to really stop those Zerglings from dealing too much damage. Now notice IdrA working on these rocks. This is something that Zergs are starting to do a lot on this map, because the problem is if Terran just takes down these rocks and then just walks across here, he can set up very easily here, and there's nothing Zerg can do. You cannot take out those rocks at that point. But if you take the rocks down early and you just keep scouting this area, you can run down and engage him before he's in a defensive formation here. So a smart move by IdrA to start working on that right away. Notice he even has a creep tumor. Probably wants to send some creep down, install any missile turrets in case that is what he wants to do, the slow push through there. Now MVP getting a factory, getting engineering base, got to get those upgrades going. Now the timing push is getting ready. Stim just finishing up. Combat shields already done. He has those 4 Marauders. This is almost the exact timing push MVP always likes to do. Now I don't know how much he'll commit to this, because this is such a long map and IdrA is very good, so he should have enough units out to stop this. But this is a pretty scary group of units. You know, he has Stim, he has amazing micro, so we're going to have to see if he can do anything here. IdrA is getting the Baneling Nest, getting some more Spine Crawlers, also getting some more Zerglings, canceling. Well, no, it looks like he was about to make a hatchery, but did not. And MVP just taking out an Overlord there, sending a Marine up to make sure there's no additional expansion. And it looks like this may be all the damage he wanted to do. You know, slow down the 3rd base, kill an Overlord off, and realize, okay, you know, I'm not going to be able to kill anything here. But it looks like he does want to use a scan and get rid of some creep tumors. And that is pretty good, because IdrA only has 2 Queens right now, so it's going to be hard for him to replace those, as he needs to use his Larva Injects to keep his macro up. Now IdrA really going to town on this Destructible Rocks, does not want to lose in that way. A starport being made, the factory's up with a tech lab. So right now it looks like it could be the timing push through there, but not completely sure yet. It is getting that +1. The Siege Tank's obviously going to be a very important part of it. And the Medivacs, obviously you need Medivacs out there to heal from Stim. Now IdrA coming over with his Mutalisks. He's going to see that missile turret and realize not a lot of damage to be done up here. Maybe kill off an SC or 2 with the splash damage. And forces a Stim on these Marines, gets away in a very timely manner. IdrA taking a 3rd base right now. Still flying around with the Mutas, looking for a place to go. Baneling speed's on the way, Mutalisk +1 attack on the way, Evolution Chamber coming up. So IdrA definitely wants to get some upgrades, probably melee attack to help his Banelings and Zerglings out. Some very good turret placement by IMMVP, realizing these barracks kind of out in the front in a dangerous area. I really like this turret placement by him. You see some Zerglings clearing out that 1 Marine that went to scout earlier. IdrA gonna go down, looking to do some more harassment damage. And will he find a spot, though? A very slim spot indeed, just being able to hit this extractor, or rather refinery. And look at that. Notice how MVP only stims a few of his Marines. These were stimmed from earlier, but only stims a few of them to run up and chase the Mutas off. IdrA obviously having to run away there. Now IdrA finally making some Banelings, getting that creep spread going again. Has that 3rd base going up. Has the 4th base started now. It's a pretty quick 4th base. You know, his 3rd was delayed a little bit. Has to get the 4th a bit quicker because of that. The +1 melee attack to help those Banelings do more damage. You know, a lot of people, by the way, have been asking, why that? Why not the Carapace? Well, the thing is that a lot of people think that upgrades have to do like some special thing, like, oh, it only takes 2 Banelings down to kill Marine. No, it's all about dealing just a little extra damage, because obviously Marines are always being healed by the Medivacs. You need to get every bit of damage in there, especially so then your Mutas can be more effective at taking them out. If the Baneling dealt 3 more damage, it's 3 less than Mutas have to deal, the Zerglings have to deal, that type of thing. So, little side there. We have some more barracks going up by MVP. He is getting an armory to keep on going on his upgrades. He has almost 1-1 done. IdrA just kind of controlling the map with the Mutas, not really finding any harassment areas, and that's something very important that MVP is so good at, stopping the Mutalisk harassment. Because when that Mutalisk harassment really starts to do damage, then the Terran player is going to get hugely behind. But IdrA still doing some, killing off a few SCVs up here. Let's take a look at that count. It is 66 drones against 45 SCVs, so IdrA has a better economy, but MVP starting to come out with his units. He is going to do a push through the center of the map. This might be to try to hit off that 3rd base. IdrA making a ton of Zerglings and a bunch of Banelings right now. We're going to have to see if he can get this done. How many mutas does he have? He has 19 right now. That is a huge amount of mutas. He's got to be careful, though. These Marines, they almost are 1-1. They've got their combat shields. They've got their stims. So the muta's not going to do a great job against those. But can he pick something off? Look at this. Going after the medevac. And, oh, my God. One medevac down. Second medevac down. Beautiful move by IdrA. And can he take down some siege tanks as well? Takes out 2 siege tanks as well. And that was huge by IdrA right there. Taking out first 2 medevacs, then 2 siege tanks, and MVP, notice how he's backing up, realizing, uh-oh, you know, those are some important units. IdrA took them out, and now I am in a lot of trouble. IdrA still, oh, takes out another medevac. A huge move right there. Very good by IdrA. That's exactly what you need to do with your mutas. You have to move them around just right and actually pick off pieces of this push, or the push just becomes too powerful. Imagine 3 more medevacs and 2 more siege tanks in here. It would be so much scarier. Now, IdrA coming down with his mutas again. What can he hit? Look at this. Using the range of the mutas to try to pick off some marauders. Gets one, damages some other. There's not a lot of medevacs, so damaging anything at this point is very, very important for IdrA as well. Keep all the hit points down as much as possible. Notice MVP's controlling the middle of the map. IdrA's sending... Oh, hold the phone, though. He's going to take out another siege tank and a missile turret being constructed. But notice he sent a couple really hurt mutas over here. These are just to scout the other bases, to slow them down as much as possible, because IdrA can't send any Zerglings there right now. Now MVP has a little drop loading up. Is he going to move forward or backward here? Hard to say. He might want to move back into a defensive position. He may want to hit the front at the same time that IdrA tries to deal with the drop. Where did that drop go? There it is. Flies back here, sees the creep tumors, realizes, uh-oh, that's... IdrA can see this. I have to be careful. So it looks like MVP going to move back for a little bit. You know, just get his units together, rally up. In fact, let's look at the amount of units right now. 200 for IdrA, 158 for MVP. So IdrA obviously ahead a little bit in supply, but MVP with a very strong army. Look at that. IdrA with 23 more drones, and MVP has Marines. So army-wise, MVP's army, if both people control perfectly well, MVP's army should beat IdrA's army at this moment. Now, a nice little drop up here by the medevac, taking out those 2 mutalisks, and also taking out the Overlord. Trying to get some harassment. Looks like he took down a supply depot. A lot of action here. These guys have huge APM and multitasking skills. In fact, let's look at that. That is some pretty big APM. This is 40% lower, I believe it is, than StarCraft 1 APM. So, yeah, MVP is up over 300, basically, and IdrA well over 200. Anyways, back to the game. IdrA does have 4 bases. Ooh, look at that. A lot of spine crawlers going up. Doesn't want to have to deal so much with the medevac harass. The muta's now moving out. A lot of siege tanks. Very well spread army. Fungal growths and banelings won't do so well against this, with the siege tanks in the middle to rally around. And nice move by IdrA, deciding, okay, I have overwhelming mutalisks here. Takes out a little group of the Marines, just hurting as much as he can with his mutas. Very good harassment. Some of the best harassment I've seen against MVP, in fact. IdrA taking his 5th base. MVP just getting ready for his 3rd. It's kind of a slow 3rd. Normally, you want to see a macro Terran get a quicker 3rd than this, but MVP is just so darn good that he can get away with things like this. Now, notice IdrA, he is moving his creep all the way over to MVP's rocks, so this is going to be very hard for MVP to actually ever do a push down here, and I don't think he's going to anyways. A little bit too all-in-ish for his style. Now, IdrA coming in, seeing if he can do some more harassment, but there is a Thor in here, and that's going to chase those mutalisks away pretty quickly. IdrA getting ready. He has a lot of money banked. He has max supply, and it is time, I think, for IdrA to do an attack. We'll have to see what he can do here. There's a lot of siege tanks. Notice the Zerglings and mutas coming in first. Magic Box and getting rid of that Thor. Now he's going to want to target down some siege tanks as these banelings roll in, but the siege tanks doing huge damage to these banelings. And it looks like that didn't actually end overly well for IdrA. He did take out, though, the very important siege tanks, a good number of units, and the Thor. But MVP, not wasting any time, going to fill up his medevacs immediately. Realizes IdrA has just retreated everything out of here. He may not be ready for a counter here. Oh, and a drop at the same time. Looks like IdrA did pull his drones away, but the muta's going up here to deal with it. That is going to leave him open to some harassment by the medevacs, but IdrA is on top of things. He has a lot of Zerglings here. They do have +2. MVP sees this and decides, okay, never mind. I do not want to lose these medevacs. The other mutas are going to be on their way back. My timing window is closed, and I am not going to do that. Beautiful decision-making by MVP. MVP now moving out a little bit. I mean, you can really tell why this guy is the champion right now of the GSL. So solid play, great decision-making, great macro. Look at his minerals just staying very, very low. But he is mined out quite a bit, so obviously that's going to be a little bit easier. Going to want to send these SCVs up here. A ton of mules being dropped. And it looks like MVP wants to do some damage here, but losing another siege tank. And IdrA looking very good. Supplies very similar right now. It is 174 for IdrA, 154 MVP. Before you say, no, Artosis, that's not similar, it's 68 drones against 42 SCVs, so the army-wise, MVP doing very, very well right now. In fact, his army should be slightly better than IdrA's once again, but only slightly. There's a lot of banelings. IdrA's reduced the tank count quite a bit. Looks like there's only one siege tank here. Now we have a lot of mutas. IdrA just waiting for the last possible second. You want to wait as long as possible before the Terran reinforcements get there to actually attack in. MVP, of course, taking out this base. He has zoned out this area, and he does have a drop moving across the map. Some units are rallying up for him as well, but this drop is going to be what's important. It looks like IdrA going to attack in. Hold on. That siege tank being taken out pretty quickly. That's going to make these banelings so effective. IdrA going in with these mutas. The Marines trying to run away, but the banelings doing a ton of damage. At the same time, this Marine drop over here, we're going to have to see what kind of damage he can do. IdrA cleaning up most of MVP's army. Beautiful move there. It looks like he wants to take down Swanning Pool. Very good choice. That's the bulk of IdrA's army are Zerglings and banelings. IdrA even starts the adrenal glands, but gets taken out, and these mutas should be able to clean up this medevac very easily. But MVP, he is not done. He is all over the place with his harass, and going to take out the Queen and a lot of drones here. Here come the mutas. And, well, he's killed a lot of the economy of IdrA, but lost a lot of units on the way. Look at that drone count. It has fallen to 45 against just 42 SCVs. MVP, he has this base up. It's looking pretty good. This base being made. Will he be able to get up before IdrA counters? That is something we're going to have to see, but MVP has just suddenly equalized the economy of both players here. Let's take a look at the supply. 125 for IdrA, 92 for MVP, so he's sacrificed a lot of units to do so. He's going to have to play a very defensive position here. IdrA sending over the magic box mutas in case there's a Thor. Going to take out these missile turrets very, very quickly. In fact, MVP probably going to want to run. Yeah, he does, in fact, run. Here come the Marines. And very nice by IdrA. You know, just stalling that out a little bit. The mules lose some mining time. That is always helpful. And he's going to see what else he can do here. Greater Spire on the way. Very awesome. Where is it? There it is. Little face in the ground. And the Thor coming up here. Marines being stemmed up as well so that it can't be killed so easily. IdrA just looking for what he can do. His mutas do have +2 right now. Let's take a look at the other upgrades. MVP +1 to his machines. And +3, +2 to Marines. So, looks like pretty good upgrades right now for MVP. Almost the best upgrades he can have. Good economy by IdrA, but MVP's economy is starting to look like it is actually better than IdrA's at this point. He's just got to wait until he gains enough money to rebuild his army, because IdrA beating him in supply of army right now. That's something very important, is that MVP stays defensive, but uh-oh, this is looking bad. MVP 3 siege tanks, a Thor, and some medevacs. If he loses all these, that is actually pretty huge. The Marines coming down to save most of the medevacs, but still losing some more siege tanks. MVP has lost way too many siege tanks this game. IdrA's been doing a great job of picking those off every single time that they are left even an inch alone from the Marines. And that is just so important. If he had more siege tanks, man, this game would be looking a lot different. Now, we see that the Greater Spire has finished up. There it is. And the thing is, IdrA has really kept the siege tank count down. So, Broodlord's not as perfect a unit right now. If you had a ton of siege tanks still, obviously they're going to be super effective at making them unsiege. But still, it should be able to make some of them unsiege, make the banelings more effective that way. But IdrA decides it is time to go in here. He's going to want to take out that Thor first. Then he's going to be able to easily take out these missile turrets. And this is going to be so annoying for MVP. He is stemmed. He is running up there as quickly as possible. But a lot of damage being done, taking out all the defensives of this base. And here come the Marines. He's going to want to get out of there. MVP taking out a lot of mutas. But IdrA backing up. Here comes some Zerglings and banelings. IdrA trying for a flank. And a beautiful spread here by MVP. Oh my god! One of the best spreads I have ever seen. But still, IdrA having enough units here to take it all out. Still losing a lot of mutas, losing a lot of banelings. Beautiful micro by both players here. And MVP sending more and more units up here to get these mutas out here. Realizes he cannot lose this orbital command. It's very important because IdrA has, look at this, one base here, a base here, and a base here all mining. Obviously his main and natural are out by now, but MVP, he can't have one base against 3. He needs 2 base against 3. So very good move, just constantly stimming, sending more and more units up there, stopping the mutas from killing off that important orbital. And we see +2 attack on the mutas, +1 on the Thors. He does have +2 coming. And a couple Thors along with a missile turret going to make those mutas think twice and back up. I want to see what is IdrA's plan right now. He does have the energy upgrade for Infestors right now, so that's good. Infestor can be something very useful, especially when you have this much gas. Look at that, 2,000 gas, and he's just really low on minerals. You know, when MVP took out those drones earlier, that changed the game more than I think you guys realized, because IdrA had to keep on making units after that, didn't refill his drones enough, and look, only 55, not as much as his peak earlier in the game. That was 66 or so. So it's a great move by MVP, really making IdrA pay for it. Now look at the gas to mineral ratios I was just talking about as we watch IdrA kill some depots. That type of thing, a lot of people don't think about it. It's a tiny nuance of the things that happen to Zerg as you kill off drones. The mineral count throughout the game does drop quite a bit. So now he has like this huge amount of gas. So obviously Infestors, Broodlords, Banelings, Mutas. He's going to want to make a lot more tech gas-heavy units because, well, that's kind of what he has sitting around. Now notice MVP, he knows about the Greater Spire, making some Vikings already. He's going to want to be very careful to not overmake. Supplies right now very similar, 148 to 133. IdrA just keeps on making Mutas right now. He's got a lot of gas income. Good number of Banelings here. Do they do have +2, +1? I want to see. You know, a great thing that you can do while he is making... There they are. A couple Broodlords. While he's harassing with the Mutas. But what I was going to say is a great thing you can do is if you go Broodlords for a little bit, it forces a lot of Vikings. Notice there are a lot of Vikings in here. He's going to want to be careful not to lose any of those, of course. And IdrA does run away from them. But once you force a lot of Vikings, if you switch over to Ultras, it is a hugely effective move because obviously Vikings completely useless against them. In fact, IdrA making some Infestors now, and that just complements the Broodlord. I mean the Ultras perfectly, and Broodlords as well. Really, Infestors are so needed in the late game. Now it looks like IdrA's starting to do a little bit of harassment here. There are some Thors and missile turrets in here. MVP quickly moving up a good-sized chunk of his army. Not everything though. Cannot leave his front door open. The Thors, the Vikings are here. Thors are going to cover the Vikings from any Mutas. The Vikings want to take out the Broodlords, but IdrA has a lot of Mutas, so if he loses these Vikings, it's going to be huge. And he loses two, a couple more getting damaged, but does micro them back. He probably wants to keep these Thors right up here. They were back here a little bit more before. They're really to protect the Vikings from any Mutas at this point. And here we go. MVP wants to snipe these off, and bam! One goes down. Some good damage to the second one. Just needs a couple more volleys from those. And with 3 Thors here, it looks like he is going to be safe for now from any Broodlords. And, ooh, we do have an Ultralisk Cavern being made. Where is it? He realizes, okay, I've forced a lot of these. There it is. Ultralisk Cavern being made. This is not a likely place to be scanned. You might be thinking, why is it there? It's a combination of IdrA has to be very fast making things. Can't spend even a second at his main base. And the fact that, you know, that's as good a place as any. That's not like a place that's important on the map right now. So anyways, MVP playing the defensive posture. He is getting a huge amount of units. Notice the missile turrets being brought up. Just a little bit of extra defense. And that's going to help against the Infestors as well. He's seen Infestors. He does not want them burrowing up and throwing infested Terrans around. That can be very annoying. Now the Muta's hitting this base. And it does get taken out. MVP dropping mules to try to repair. So he did cost him a couple mules there as well. IdrA taking this base, and it looks like he has a lot of Broodlords up here now. He is just running MVP all over the map. Some Vikings flying up very quickly, and it looks like IdrA finally getting Overlord speed, upgrading his Zerglings and Ultras more, getting some more carapace for his ground units. And this is starting to look very, very good for IdrA. Supply-wise right now, we do have 182 against 183, so very, very similar there. And stimming up with those Marines, he's going to want to get right under the... Oh, and there we go, taking out a few of these, and he's going to want to target, no, not the Mutas, but instead the Broodlords. Broodlords do get taken out, and he does save his orbital command center, so very, very important moves here. IdrA flying in, he wants to kill off as many of these Vikings as possible. They're very important units right now, and only one is left alive. Very nice play there by IdrA. Does have a few more Broods, does have these very important Infestors right now, a ton of Banelings as well. Good number of Siege Tanks. In fact, there's going to be quite a good number of Siege Tanks as well as some Thors in there. So, you know, if IdrA starts going for a few ultras, it might be quite good as well. Of course, that is a very good tech switch. You got to be careful about the Marines and the Marauders. They can do sick damage. Of course, the Marauder deals a lot to it, the ultras, but the Marines, they just don't take very much damage. That's why you need a lot of fungal growths. That's why Infestor Ultra is one of the most powerful late game combos against Terran, especially when you already want Broodlords in the game. Now we do have MVP taking this base. The base of contention, as I think we should probably call it. Still being mined from, but it's been a hard journey. There are some Broodlords going up there, and it looks like IdrA deciding it is time to try to do something here. A lot of... Ooh, I love this. One Broodlord up here to harass the mules. And in fact, he is killing the mules very, very quickly. At the same time, oh my god. Carnage right there. Some fungal growths on Marines. You see a pile of blood. And his supply has just dropped down to 150 against 196. Very, very nice fungal growths there. Fungal growth so amazing against Marines when you actually do catch them with it. Look at that. A ton of damage being dealt. These things have used up all their energy. Wow, these things. Well, we see a lot of ultras being made, some drops being upgraded for IdrA as well, realizing he may need those to break through the front lines of MVP. We have some Broodlords up here harassing, and it looks like they're going to be taken out pretty easily. Marine's going to mow them down quite quickly. Now we have some mutas coming in here, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to win this battle. Nice pickup on that Thor. Marked him out of danger. Does have +3. That is a lot of damage that siege tanks and Thors do at this point. Vikings, not so much damage. A lot of ultras being made by IdrA, though. Let's take a look at the supply. 200 for IdrA, 157 for IMMVP. The GSL champion looking like he might be on the ropes, but he's still got a lot of bases. We're going to have to see. And IdrA looks like he may be deciding it's time. And he's going to run in there. These Banelings, not going to do a whole lot. There's not too many Marines in here. And IdrA looking like he is just going to crush right through here. Even throwing up some infested Terrans to help out. The Ultra's killing everything. MVP's starting to look like he may be dying, but some more units coming down. Good fungal growth there. A lot of Marines just splattering into the ground. And IdrA with so many Ultras backing up a tad, but his economy is really, really hurt right now. Look at this. Very low. Not mining a whole lot. And these Ultras look like they will finally be taken out. You have to be careful. It's very mobile. Army stimming, running back, kiting your units. And it looks like MVP trying to do some damage, but IdrA still... No, it is actually a pretty good economy still. Good amount of drones there. This one just about gone. But he does have this base. Uh-oh! Not for long, it looks like. MVP down to 86 supply. IdrA at 163, so IdrA killing him supply-wise, but MVP, he is not done yet. He is still doing some harassment here with his Marines, picking them up. Very nice, and notice IdrA does not have any mutas left. He doesn't have any Hydras to try to hit these medevacs, so the medevacs only have to be worried about infestors right now. IdrA, let's see, he has this space down here, done this space missing a few patches, and then this space which is getting harassed very heavily by a single Marine. Now some mutas have been popped out, besides he needs some to help fight that off. MVP not mining from here right now. Looks like he's about done there. Up here, it's going to be done pretty quickly. A lot of Ultras out. Let's take a look at the supply. Oh my, 165 against 104. And MVP basically stopping this base. That's going to bring IdrA down to this base. And, ooh, IdrA taking this base as well. Throwing up some spine crawlers. So he is just really taking the map right now. Killing those rocks early. Bet you never thought it would turn into something like this, where he's actually getting this super important extra base. I guess that's actually been there for a little bit, hasn't it? No, not too long. Alright. We see the mutas. Really very good group of just 6 mutas. Causing a lot of damage there. Delaying Thors. Stopping the missile turret. Killing some SCVs off as well. Oh, I love this move right here. Offensive spine crawlers. But MVP stopping this base as well. 170 supply against 116. So IdrA's army is looking really, really fierce. But MVP is still staying alive for now. Now some Marines coming up here. The mutas want to come in and try to help, but no, those Marines do too much DPS for you, mutas. You better run away. And it looks like they will be able to take out these spine crawlers. Meantime, IdrA really hurting these Marines up here, but medevac's healing super, super quickly. Will a Marine die? Nope. They decide to back off. And, ooh, and IdrA's even knocked down these rocks, probably to make sure MVP can't take this base and to stop this harassment. Notice MVP's supply is starting to catch up a little bit. It's 123 against 187. But again, look at this Ultra count. 11 Ultras, 4 Infestors, 8 Mutas, 43 Zerglings. That is an insane army right now. And flying those Mutas in first. Looks like IdrA is just attack moving. Here we go. The Zerglings going up and taking some splash from those tanks. A good fungal growth so those Marauders can't run away. That'll let those Ultras kill them so quickly. And there are just too many Ultras here. I am feeling we may be seeing a GG relatively soon. But at the same time, MVP with a counter drop up here, taking out all the drones. IdrA crushing through this army, yes. But MVP still being very cost effective with his units as he can be. And down goes this expansion of IdrA. He has this one which is going to be very easy to attack. But IdrA definitely going to be able to take out these mining locations up here. But there's really nothing left, so MVP probably doesn't care too much. Ultra and 2 Zerglings versus 2 Marines and a tank. If you're wondering who wins, it's the Ultras and Zerglings. Ultra's going up, trying to clear out this base. Looks like he killed off some more drones here as well. 31 drones against 18 SCVs. This MVP actually doing a great job right now. The Ultra just trying to kill off as much as he can, but he's an Ultra in a Marine and tanks world right now. And it looks like he's going to be taken out finally. Good placement on that siege tank. The Ultras finally take out this base up here. And it looks like IdrA going to make another hatchery right under a couple empty medevacs. Has this base going again. This base, well, a few drones there. Doesn't have anything here. A few drones here as well. So his economy isn't too high. In fact, if we look at the income tab, it's pretty similar. In fact, MVP's higher because he's just dropped 4 mules. So yeah, he's mining a little bit more than IdrA right now. But IdrA catching these little drops is just so important. Just a few hit points left on that medevac. A couple Vikings just flying over here. Not really a whole lot that can be done. Lifting them up, trying to do any harassment you can possibly do at this point. Things are not looking good for MVP. Does not have very much left. 66 supply against 130. IdrA in a good, strong lead. Has his Ultras, has his Infestors out. MVP really with only this base at this point. But is doing a lot of really good harassment damage. Just trying to pick off as much as he possibly can. You know, you stop the Zerg mining, then kill off an army. And suddenly the game does turn around. So MVP, he is not going to give up. Very good harassment right now. Got to be careful about that Infestor, though. Doesn't have enough energy yet, but, you know. Looks like a bunch of Overlords here. And remember, he did get drops earlier. Maybe an Ultraless drop coming up to take care of that main base of MVP. That siege tank up there has been very annoying for IdrA. In fact, look, MVP keeping most of his units up here on the high ground, being very careful to defend this base correctly. He knows this is a complete war of attrition at the second, but, you know, IdrA is just re-droning up, retaking his bases, so it's starting to look pretty grim for MVP. This may be it. MVP targeting down some Overlords, gets one that was full of Zerglings, but there may be, well, not a whole lot being dropped up here, actually. And throwing up some Infested Terrans, a nice fungal growth there, and oh my god, that's a lot of Infested Terrans. They have some pretty sick DPS, so it looks like they will be able to clean out a lot of this. IdrA making the command center lift. Let's take a look at the supplies. It is 44 against 114. And even though MVP still, through all this dropping, oh my god, he even killed this hatchery. MVP all over the place taking out bases. IdrA barely mining from anywhere right now, but it looks like he's even going to take out some barracks with all these Infesteds, which are now just going to die because they're old men. And IdrA just running back, realizing, oh, this is like my last base. And look at that, the Mutalisk wants to take that out. It does. A few Marauders left over, and I think that this is going to be just about GG. 33 supply against 123. Very long game. I understand now why everyone asked me to commentate this game. An excellent one. And of course, guys, thank you for pointing that out, because I would not have known. And thank you, of course, to IdrA for giving me this replay off of his stream. Check his stream out. It's at Justin TV. MVP doesn't want to give up yet. I'm like closing it out, but looks like IdrA is going to have one more battle ahead of him. And bam, fungal growth. Goodbye, Marauders. Goodbye, MVP. The champion of the GSL, the best player in the world. I'm MVP, being taken out by EGIdrA, and GG, that is it. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and thank you, IdrA, for giving me that replay. And of course, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/harasses. The more subscribers I have, the more great content I can make, and the more times I can be like, okay, yeah, I can cast that. Alright, so thanks y'all for watching.